Well, hello and welcome back to another edition of the Journal. I know it's been a while since I've had an episode out, and that's just because I've been really busy. I got cross-trained to work Black Mountain Fire Lookout along with Tahquitz Fire Lookout. So over the last month or so, I've been working both of them. I've been pretty busy. I've pulled quite a few shifts, and they've really needed us. We've had fires break out everywhere over the last month. We had one of the fires that I called in from the Tahquitz Fire Lookout a couple weeks ago. We had the line fire was going in San Bernardino. That did a whole bunch of damage, including burning down the Keller Peak Fire Lookout and singeing the Morton Peak Fire Lookout, which were... Oh, I think Otto's coming in to say hi. He's wondering what all the noise was. Also, too, the bridge fire over by the Bridge to Nowhere in LA County, that actually went up and over the mountains and down to the other side. And then the airport fire in Orange County, that did a real lot of damage. It burned all the way up to Santiago Peak, just about burned down all the ham radio repeaters and electronic stuff on top of the hill. Fire department was able to drop a faucet check line and kind of save pretty much everything up there. There was some damage. A lot of the feed lines were damaged. And just from the heat, not so much the flames, but the heat. I guess Otto's had enough, I guess. Hold on a second. All right, well, I'm back. Well, anyway, so you get the picture, right? It's been a really hot summer. We've had probably hot, I'm guessing 20 days in the month of August, where we were over 103, 104, 109. In the car, 116, 117, just absolute nuts. And I'm sorry, but I'm not hiking in that. That's unsafe. And we did have quite a few people succumb to heat-related illnesses. People that have done the Grand Canyon and done some hikes in Joshua Tree, and I don't know what they were thinking. But well, anyway, hopefully we're past that stage now. We finally started to cool off. Fall is right around the corner, I can tell. I've already cracked a pumpkin beer. This is 21st Amendment Brewing's Pumpkin Haze IPA. It's actually really good. But anyway, we just got back from an epic adventure in Kings Canyon National Park. We drove up Highway 395 to a small town of Independence, hooked a left on Market Street, going all the way up to Onion Valley Campground at 9,200 feet where we acclimated for a day. And then eventually over the next 3 or 4 days, we worked our way up the Kearsarge Pass Trail, up and over Kearsarge Pass, which is at 11,760 feet. And from what I'm gathering, it might even be taller than that because the sign says 11,760, but all of the newer maps say 11,835, somewhere in that range. So it's about 11,800 feet. And if you've never hiked at high altitude or anything above 9 or 10, that just takes a toll on you. It's number one, it's steep. And number two, it's really hard to breathe. You know, you'll go 20, 30 feet and have to stop and catch your breath. And it's obviously above timberline, so you're in direct sun the whole time you're doing it. And there's nothing around you except for rocks. So it's exposed, it's windy, it's hot, it's high, it's tough. But I tell you what, man, the payoff is tremendous. Once you get to the top of Kearsarge Pass and you look down into Kings Canyon National Park and you see the chain of Kearsarge Lakes and Bullfrog Lake off in the distance and all of those 13,000 foot summits around there, it is just breathtaking. I've been there before. Jerry and Dave had not, so I was really excited when they jumped at the chance to go with me and do this backpack trip. We hadn't backpacked in a couple of years for one thing or another, and we were able to do this one, and the weather was absolutely stunning the whole time we were there. Daytime highs in the 50s, but it seemed a lot warmer. Overnight lows are right around 32, and as luck would have it, the day we hiked out on Sunday, 24 hours later, they got their first Sierra snowfall. We ended up going to probably 15 or more lakes. You wouldn't believe there's that many lakes up there, but there really is. We saw Gilbert Lake, Flower Lake, Matlock Lake, Slim Lake, an unnamed lake, Little Pothole Lake, Big Pothole Lake, a chain of 4 Kearsarge lakes, Bullfrog Lake, Charlotte Lake, and 2 other unnamed lakes while we were up there. So you can imagine the view. If you like alpine scenery and alpine lakes, crystal blue water underneath these towering jagged peaks up in the Kearsarge Range, that's what's going to be coming up in a future couple of editions. But in the meantime, you're going to take a drive with me up Black Mountain Truck Trail. We're going to go check out the Black Mountain Fire Lookout. I haven't done any videos on the Black Mountain Lookout because I wasn't certified to work it. And now I am. So I did get to shoot some video of the rough truck trail, a 5-mile rough truck trail, to get to Black Mountain to Boulder Basin Campground, where I can park my vehicle and go to the top and go to work at the Black Mountain Fire Lookout. So anyway, that'll all be coming up next in this episode of the Hiking Journal, the Black Mountain Fire Lookout, and then following episodes will be on our trip into the Kearsarge Range. And I'm also be taking a trip, a really nice trip, actually. Katie and I are going to go to Scotland. I always wear the kilt. And so I'm finally going to get to go see why I've been driven to wear the kilt all these years. And we're going to go take a tour, about a 10-day trip through Scotland. So that's coming up here pretty soon, too. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, anyway, so stick around. Check out this episode on the Black Mountain Fire Lookout. And I'm going to start it off with a Pumpkin Haze IPA. And I already did have my pumpkin spice latte. It's funny, a few years ago, we went to Maine in the fall, and we actually went to Salem, Massachusetts, a couple days before Halloween. And that was nuts. But as we're driving down Highway, I think it's Highway 1 on that side, right along the coast in Maine, looking at the fall foliage, the overhead, we call them Caltrans signs here. I don't know what they call them there. They had a lot of funny sayings on them. One of them that we really got a kick out of was, spice latte drinkers, use your blinkers. So anyway, fall season is almost upon us. I can't wait. And you know what that means. That means pumpkins. That means pumpkin spice latte. That means cool weather and sweaters and a lot of hiking. So anyway, that'll all be coming up in a few months. I'm excited about it. Well, anyway, stick around and follow me up the Black Mountain Truck Trail to the Black Mountain Fire Lookout. That'll all be coming up next on this edition of the Hiking Journal. We'll see you in a bit. Well, today I'm heading up to Black Mountain Fire Lookout. And I drove up to Idyllwild. I drove past Idyllwild through Pine Cove. And I got to the Black Mountain Road turnoff, and I aired down the tires from 35 psi down to about 20, and you don't really need it for traction here. It's not really sandy or anything, or muddy or snowy or anything like that, but there's some really rough patches along this road, and there's big dips that you don't really see if you're driving 15 miles an hour, and boy, it just beats you to death. And last time I came up here, even my shoulder was hurting. My surgery shoulder was hurting just from the jarring, and stuff that was in the back of my Jeep almost ended up in the front seat of the Jeep, and it was pretty rough. So I'm going to take it a lot slower today. Not because the vehicle needs it, but because my body needs it. I don't want to get beat up any worse than I know I'm going to be just trying to get to the fire lookout. This road is, from what I understand, is a lot better condition than it normally is. So I would hate to see what this road looks like when it's not graded, because there's some pretty good little drops here. There's a couple of sections that are paved for really short sections, like 50, 100 feet, and then it goes back to dirt again. And it's a long road. It's 5 miles of this, and it takes a good solid half an hour to get to the top where the Boulder Basin Campground is. And from Boulder Basin Campground, that's where the turnoff is to go up to the Black Mountain Fire Lookout. And that's where I'll be working today. My shift in the San Bernardino National Forest at Black Mountain. In fact, here's one of these sections I was talking about. I don't have it in 4-wheel drive, I just have it in 2-wheel drive. But believe it or not, I see people up here sometimes in small little SUVs. In fact, last time I came up here, in fact, I was about right here, I think. And I was coming down the mountain at the end of the shift, and there was a Tesla Model S3 or whatever they call them, And there was a guy driving a Tesla up here, and he was backing down the mountain. So I think he got up here and realized this was a little more than he bargained for. And it's so narrow, there was no good place to turn around. So he decided his best avenue of retreat was just to back down. So that was kind of entertaining. But you do see quite a few SUVs up here. It's not that bad, I guess, as long as you go slow and keep an eye out for those dips. Well, anyway, I should be reaching the Black Mountain Fire Lookout and Boulder Basin Campground here, probably in about 15 minutes. And then I can open up the tower for a good shift up here at Black Mountain. All right, let's head on through, and I gotta lock the gate behind me. All right, now we are through the locked gate. I locked it behind me and flipped the sign around, so now it says the fire lookout is open. Well, technically it's not open because I'm not there yet, but well, I don't think anybody's gonna be coming up for a couple hours probably, so. In the meantime, I got to finish this little, this is the easy portion of the drive. This section is actually in pretty good shape compared to what I already did. But there's some magnificent boulders up here, and that's why they call it the Boulder Basin Campground. And a lot of rock climbers and boulderers come up here just for that reason. Last time I was up here in the little day use area, there was a bunch of kids, and they had their crash pads and their rock climbing shoes and chalk, and they were having a day up here, having a picnic and doing some bouldering and crashing into their crash pads, I guess. But anyway, the fire lookout is right around the corner. We'll be there in another 20 seconds. And I'll give you a peek at what it looks like, and then in a little bit we'll go in and I'll get you a tour of what the inside of the Black Mountain Fire Lookout looks like up here in the San Bernardino National Forest, just to the north side of Idyllwild. Look at these magnificent boulders. It looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day today. It looks like it's going to be crystal clear. At least it looks like it is. And yesterday I had the fire radio on at the house, and some moron was running around setting fires in San Jacinto. So hopefully we won't have any of that nonsense today. Anyway, this is it. This is where I get to park. I get to park up here. And the fire lookout is just uphill to my left. Even though you park way down here, you still have to climb a couple hundred feet or so to get to the actual lookout. But the good part is that when you're up here, you have access to your vehicle. So you can leave your ice chest in the car, you can leave your drinks in the car, any ancillary things like a jacket or whatever else. But I am bringing my backpack up, my binoculars in here, some polarized sunglasses to help with the view today, and a bunch of cables and cords to recharge my cell phone and things like that. So I got to hump this hill here, get to the top of the lookout. And just to give you an idea, this is where I'll be working today. Black Mountain Fire Lookout, elevation 7,772 feet. So I have to climb a couple of sets of stairs and unlock those grates up there to allow access to the top. So I flipped the tower closed, so I'm going to have this view today. Wow. It's going to be an amazing view today. Anyway, I have to climb up another set of stairs, and I have to unlock that padlock. There's a couple of sets of these to be able to open the grates to allow access. Here's the second set. These are all counterbalanced because I was told that they will fall down on you if you don't secure them. All right, that ought to work. All right, and I'll just lock these on here for now. And I gotta go up, open the lookout. This is a pretty steep set of stairs here, so, and you also have the elevation, so it's kind of scary. I'll show you what I mean here as we head up. All right. And here's our amazing view today from Black Mountain. And this is inside the tower. We'll be in there in a second. Open the doors. Go on in. Boy, what a view. All right. Last set of locks. And we are in. All right, ready to start our day. Well, I got to shoot some video today, boy. This is really super clear. This is going to be awesome. All right, it is time to open her up today. I'm a little early. Normally you don't start this early, but I was motivated today. Put up Old Glory. Always makes me proud to put up Old Glory. Kind of wish we had the music to play with it, you know? Star-Spangled Banner or something. I always felt like it needed it. And we have a little bit of wind today. All right, there we go. We are in service. I just need to complete my weather observations and call them in to the San Bernardino National Forest Dispatch Center. And we will be good to go today. I can't believe the view. This is going to be a great day. Awesome day. I can actually see, you won't be able to tell on the camera, I can actually see part of the ocean. It's in the marine layer, but I can actually see it today. So that's impressive. All right, let's go get our weather measurements done and then get the coffee going. Well, let's check our belt weather kit. We have the wet bulb on the right and the dry bulb. This is what I measured before. I dipped it, and now I have to swing it for 1 minute. This will get me the wet bulb and the dry bulb temperatures and allow me to make the determination of what the humidity is today. So I have to swing this for a minute, then I'll check it. We have a really, really good view. I can see Diamond Valley Lake and Lake Skinner, Lake Paris, Morongo Indian Casino, Palomar. I can see all the way out to Hot Springs Mountain and Cuyamaca Peak, way out in inland San Diego. All right, we'll get this here a check here in a second. Oh, dry bulb 43. Figure that out in the chart. Well, I've taken my weather measurements with this measures wind speed, and this measures the wet and dry bulb temperatures and the ambient temperatures. And I've jotted it down in my chart. So for today, I've got a wet bulb of 43, a dry bulb of 63, and ambient temperature also of 63. The wind speed, according to, actually we have a Kestrel that I use as a secondary method, just because I like this one better, and it's pretty accurate as well. So I like to kind of use them both to check them. And they both came back with the wind speed of 7 miles per hour. The visibility is excellent today. And I'm going to say state of the weather is clear because it is gorgeous today. I do have to figure out the humidity, and how I do that is based on a chart. And here's the chart, and this one has the wet bulb and the dry bulb, and the wet bulb temperature was 43. And if I go down here, 43, and I also check the temperature, which was 63, you cross-reference, and that would give you a dew point. Actually, not a dew point, but a humidity of 22% today. So the humidity is fairly low today. So it's a little dry. Wind's coming out of the east. I think that's why it's as dry as it is. But anyway, so I have to call that in here in a minute, and then get the coffee going. I usually wait till 8. We technically don't start till 9. And so I thought, well, you know what, I got here really, really early, and I thought, well, you know, maybe in about 10 minutes I'll go in service with weather at 8. And so that gives me time to make some coffee while I'm waiting. In the meantime, I'm going to do a quick walk around. I got my binoculars out. Lately, the last couple of days, there's been some more online fires down here on the foothills near San Jacinto and Hemet. So I really got to keep my eyes focused on that direction today. And plus, with the wind coming from the east, it's going to blow everything that way. So the temperature might even drop. Anyway, got that part done. I just got to call it in. From Black Mountain. 7,772 feet in the San Bernardino National Forest. I brought my stove, my little Snumpy Gigapower, brought my coffee, got my AeroPress Go, got my cup, forgot the butane propane canister, so I have no way to heat the water. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm attempting to do a cold brew. I don't know how this will work. It looks like it's thinking about it. I put the coffee in the inverted method, and I'm going to let it sit here and steep, I guess, a little while. And maybe I can make an iced coffee, huh? I don't know how long this will take. It might take an hour. I don't know. If it doesn't work, I still got the Java Monster. So that'll get me through if nothing else. But in the meantime, I'm going to watch my my cold brew work and see if it functions. I guess we'll find out. Well, I've never made coffee like this, cold brew, but if you look at it, it's getting pretty dark. So I don't know, we might have to give this a shot. Needless to say, this should still work. You hear the hiss. Well, I don't know if you can see that. It looks like coffee. It's cold. Check that out. Here, I'll do it this way so you can see what I'm doing here. It's pretty strong, so I got to add a little bit of water to it. And we'll give it a stir here with this Cheers. You know, the cold brew coffee is actually not bad. I'll have to remember this for another time. In fact, you know, maybe when I do my backpack trip, maybe I won't even have to heat the coffee up. I'd like to try the Avalanche coffee to see how that tastes cold. But this is Café du Monde from New Orleans. That's what this is. This is really good. I don't expect to get too many visitors today. It's a weekday. I have excellent visibility today. I can see Palomar Observatory, no problem. Even from this side, and I'm on the north side of the mountain range. Diamond Valley Reservoir is crystal clear. You can also see parts of Skinner. And of course, Lake Paris is off this direction. The Morongo Indian Casino is down there, all of Interstate 10. And all this over here is the San Gorgonio Range. So you can see old Grayback, San Gorgonio right there. And of course, all the peaks along the divide as well. And off this direction is Ranger Peak. That used to be the location of the old fire lookout years and years ago, before they moved it up to Tockwitz. And they still got quite a bit of radio equipment up there for the Forest Service. They also have a camera from UC San Diego. And there was a fire that was started down here in the valley below yesterday. And if you click on the peak camera, you can actually see the base of the fire pluming up. So it's in a really good spot. So I'm not real familiar with a lot of the cardinal points. I mean, I know most of them, but I'm trying to hone in my expertise on which little mountain is what, and try to improve my skills up here. I'll be doing a lot of map and compass work today, and it looks like it's actually getting even clearer than when I got here, because initially it looked like I could see a bay, like I could see the ocean as it works its way towards San Diego. But now looking that way, it looks like it's the marine layer that has moved in as a cloud layer. But I can definitely see toward the ocean. And since the wind is blowing from the east, that actually might clear that out even more. So it ought to be a great day up here today. The Black Mountain Fire Lookout. Well, I found out something kind of interesting. I had a feeling something was wrong. The first thing I noticed was my little wrist compass that's on my watch. It was showing north this direction. Okay, that's not north, that's east. North is that direction. And I thought maybe sometimes, you know, on this little compass, if you get it too close to the actual watch head, the metal, sometimes it throws it off. But it was still off. And then I noticed I was trying to use the map. So what I did was I used my little declination grid, my grid square. I lined the map with what I kind of thought was north. And I was shooting azimuth from the Black Mountain Fire Lookout, which is marked on the map, to different locations like Delamont Mountain or Claremont Mountain or Mount Edna, San Gorgonio. And I was shooting directional azimuths on here. So for example, I shot an azimuth to Delamar Mountain, which is 272 degrees. And if you look at the map, and you line up the grid, and you throw a ruler on here, and then you check the actual angle on here from Black Mountain to Delamont Mountain, which is right over there, it's 272 degrees. We also have a cheat sheet that we keep here in the tower. And it actually says on here that Delamont Mountain is 272 degrees. That's right, correct? Well, if you stand here and you use this compass the way it's intended, and I'm pretty good with this compass, you line up what you're looking at. So like from this angle right here, I can shoot an azimuth. I need my glasses. to Delamont Mountain, and then you put the arrow in the doghouse, as they say. You turn this until the red arrow is inside the little red box as you're lining it up. So there's Delamont Mountain right there. I'm lining it up. It's supposed to be 270 degrees. Well, you know what it's showing? It's showing about 218 degrees. Okay, that's not even close. So what I discovered was the metal in this tower is throwing off my compass 40 degrees, roughly. Maybe even more, maybe even 50 degrees, because of the metal cab that this is in. You don't have that problem in Tockwitz because it's a wood building. This is a metal building. So what I did was, I went around the outside and I went to the outside of the deck and I kind of leaned out a little bit, put my compass out over the railing to get a little more space between the metal cab, and it dropped to a 20-degree difference, but it still wasn't accurate. It was still off. So I went down the steps, I went down the ladder, went all the way down the ramp, all the way down to the car, into a rock on a viewpoint that overlooks the north and west. And lo and behold, it was right at 272 degrees. So there's nothing wrong with my compass. It's just that the compass is picking up the metal from this metal cab at this fire lookout. So now I know if I see a fire break out and I shoot an azimuth with my compass, it's not going to be correct. That's kind of important to know. So now I've realized that while this is a great compass, it's not a great compass for this fire lookout. So I'm just going to put it back in the box, and I'll leave this one home next time. But it does work on Tockwitz because of the wooden building. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. It was pretty interesting, something that I didn't. Oh, and also too, my little button compass, it worked out there as well. It was spot on. I'll be damned. Learn something new every day. That's why you have to be careful if you're using your compass and you're inside a vehicle. Same kind of thing. So, of course, if I was hiking or backpacking, I wouldn't be inside a metal building, so it doesn't really apply. But it's just something to think about. Didn't know that. Anyway, gotta keep a lookout. All right, well, my shift is over up here at Black Mountain. It was a good day. I only had 6 visitors until 4:45, and then like 4 more people showed up right when I was closing up. So, but anyway, it was a good day. There's no fires today. There's no smoke, and nice cool breeze up there. You can't beat that. So now I got this short little drive to get down from the fire lookout, and then get through the gate, close the gate behind me, and then head on down out of Boulder Basin Campground back down to the car. So the other thing too is when I get back down the road, that bone-jarring Black Mountain Road, I'm going to have to air up the tires again because I dropped the tire pressure down to about 18-20 psi, and I got to get it back up to 35 for the highway drive home. So I've got my compressor in the back, so I'll have to spend another 10-15 minutes when I get down to the trail where the Black Mountain Road meets the highway, the 243 highway. I'll have to put the air back in the tires, and then I'll be on the way. It's a lot warmer down here. Once you get out of the fire lookout, you had a nice good breeze up there. There's no breeze right here. Well, I can feel it. Well, airing down your tires makes just a world of difference. As I'm coming down, this is kind of one of the rougher sections. I kind of can't believe people actually come up here in passenger, well, I don't know about passenger cars, small little SUVs. I mean, I don't need 4-wheel drive or anything, but the bad part is that a lot of the road, the dips are the same color as the straightaway sections, and it's really hard to tell, especially in the lighting, until you hit them. And I tell you what, airing down the tires, it makes a gigantic difference on your kidneys, and for me, my shoulder. And there's some little drop-offs like this one, and it seems to be worse going up than going down. It seems to be a little better going down, but as long as nobody is coming up. This is where I saw the last time I was coming down. This is where I saw the guy in the Tesla trying to turn around because he realized he bit off more than he could chew and decided to turn tail and run, but he couldn't turn around because it was too narrow. There was no pullouts. So anyway, I should be down the mountain here in about another 10 minutes, I would think. It's 5 miles from Boulder Basin Campground to the pavement, and I've done probably 2.5, I'm gonna say, maybe by now. And so I've just got a little further to go, and then I gotta, of course, I gotta air up the tires again, so that'll take 10-15 minutes. It's not too bad. I'll get the compressor going and get a refreshment, then get on the road to head out of here.